Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We are on the test server. Sneaky first look at the Christmas theme Bastion. Is it different from last year? I don't know. It's super cool though. But that's not what we're really here to look at. Today, I want to show you my first impressions here of the Grim Forest. Zoom it out where there is a heck of a lot going on right now. I'm going to break it down. We will go through. And yeah, I've got 30 energy here, so we will play through what one day would look like when we're a bit further in. We start over here in the old camp. In fact, I can show you. Jumping back, I recorded my first part. We'll even speed this up a little bit more so we can see like starting out. So one of the first things you're gonna do is build your deck. This is what a hard deck looks like. We need 20 champions for each side. And what I was basically trying to do was just sort of match with very general characters. This is probably not what you should do. I'm going to bring you, in fact, a full deck guide video tomorrow and just some initial quick tips from me having played through this content. I still need to get to a couple of bosses in this mode. So once I've done that, yeah, I could basically explain it to you, explain it more and give you some ideal tips. There's definitely a few cheeky little debuffs and buffs that you definitely want to have in both decks. That aren't probably immediately obvious, or at least I hadn't seen any of the boss skills or anything when I was recording this the first time. I was going in pretty much totally blind. You have far more info than Nub does at the time of this. But yeah, I was building up my deck, trying to balance it out, and you can see these are the two decks I went with. And they're okay. Not perfect, but they're okay. But it gives you a bit of a gist of sort of the quality of champions. Now, and this is, by the way, what the Grim Forest looks like when you start off. Look at that. That is all that you see. It's massive. It's absolutely huge. And it's this big blank area. Now, if we jump back to the game while that's going on, we can see. So we actually started over here, but now we've got loads of that map peel back and we can see some stuff. One thing, there is this dark purple area. And I believe that this is, if I look here, there are 5 battles in the purple region, this extra hard region. I'm still not sure how to get there. I've kind of covered all the paths to the side and none of them lead in. So yeah, this is truly a secret area. I'm not sure how you get in. But broadly speaking, when we look at this Grim Forest, you start off in this green area and this is easy. So for example, if I click on E5, I can show you what this looks like. We draw champions. Ooh, cool. We can redraw if we want. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, there's a, hang on, let me move that. There we go. The magic of editing. But yeah, we now have for this area, for the green area, the easy, which are the things near the center, you get 10 champions from each deck. Now, because I'm a bit further into this month's rotation on the test server, I do have 1 extra draw, which I think is random between one of the teams will get 1 extra draw. But yeah, let's actually run this right now so you can see what a green area thing looks like. Again, bearing in mind, I am going to be a little bit further. Let's throw in Michelangelo as well. I'm going to be a little bit further on and much more powered up, and I'll show you exactly what that means right now. But I can tell you right now that broadly speaking, what I have found from my testing, and there are 3 different difficulties of region that I've done so far. There's green, which is easy, yellow, which is medium, and red, which is hard. And then there's this purple extra hard area, which I haven't got to. Maybe we have to beat the final boss or something to get to that. I don't know. I have found the waves, generally speaking, to be extremely easy. Here we can see like this green area. You can tell that this wave-based content is, for my account anyway, it's incredibly, incredibly easy. That being said, of course, here we go. We can see a level up. So as you complete different stages in the Grim Forest, you're going to level up. When you level up, you're going to get to pick a trait card. So I can pick one of these. This uncommon one's going to give attack and accuracy. This will give speed and accuracy, which is pretty good. This is going to give me defense and speed. I'm going to go with that. The Death Hound Hunt. It's a rare card, so I presume it's a little bit better. We're getting 3 speed instead of 2 speed, so it's slightly stronger. There we go. But yeah, as you progress through this game mode, you are going to be leveling up. And this is also it's a small part of what's making that green area seem super easy. I'm getting a whole bunch of bonus stats, and you get to choose each time you level up. So you can see here, I've got a bunch of this stuff, loads of extra stats. And the further I go in Grim Forest, the higher and higher this is going to go. This resets every month, and there we are. There's also altars that we can find around the place. One of the big ones is the redraw altars. Here's an altar here. I think this one is giving me one more draw per fight. Where did I find some other altars? They're sprinkled around, and all of these locations can be totally random. Here's a curio altar. Here's a redraw altar actually over here. What they will do is give me more redraws. You can have 4 redraws per day. So if let's actually not go to a hard stage quite yet. Let's take a look at a medium difficulty stage. But yeah, that was a bit of a vibe of a green stage. They're quite easy, although I do have a bunch more powers. We'll go to like a medium difficulty now, and we'll take a look at that. Let's see, here's a normal medium difficulty stage. We can go in, and now we can see I'm getting 8 champions per. So for the easy stages, 10 champions from each deck from hard. For the medium, 8 champions, and I'm getting 1 bonus because of my altar. There's only one of those altars for an extra draw. It's not particularly helpful, I think, but it's something. And then on the hard difficulty, I can show you that. I haven't got to the extra hard yet, but if we go to a hard difficulty stage, let's actually open this one up here. Hard 12, you only get 5. Sorry, I'm blocking it. 5 per stage. So your deck becomes quite limited at that point. Quite limited. Again, this is where the extra 1 actually does start to feel kind of big. You can redraw every day. You start with 2 redraws per day, and then you can find 2 redraw altars, which will permanently increase your daily redraws to a maximum of 4. So you get 4 redraws per day once you found the 2 different altars, which will probably take you a few days, depending on your luck. Again, their placement is random. In terms of powering up overall as well, we get these curios. So you have to unlock the slots as you go. What do these curios do? To be honest, they're not that crazy powerful. From what I've seen, I got this one kind of early, Apple of Avarice. You get more Grim coins, which lets you buy stuff. I mean, that's okay. This one I've got is pretty good. The Netherbite Knife has been the most impactful. Does damage to 1, 3, or 5 enemies equal to 5% max HP for every 8th, 7th, or 6th turn taken by ally champions. So definitely when you get this up to 3-star, it's pretty good. You're going to be doing AoE, enemy max HP damage, every 6 turns that your team takes. It's not crazy, but it's nice. Yeah, I found that these curios, like this one, I put a stun on a random enemy for ally turns, can't be resisted. Doesn't help against the bosses, but it's okay against the wave. But the waves are quite easy. This one here, every 10th turn puts 1 buff on some random allies. That's pretty cool. Get some buffs, but it's quite random. That sort of thing. This one decreasing enemy attack a bit. This one decreases enemy stats by a small bit. I genuinely, my initial impression are these trait cards are incredibly strong. You can get, for example, quite a bit of speed, but loads of resistance and accuracy, lots of defensive stats, lots of good stuff from the stat cards. The curios seem a little bit weak, is my first impressions, but they do help a little bit. Let's take a look at a medium stage, and we can explore a little bit down here, get a bit of a vibe. So we come into this stage. I guess I've already clicked on it, so I already got some stuff. I guess I'm going to go pretty aggressive with my picks. I'll throw in some supports, but yeah, I don't think we need to care too much, from me at least, for these wave stages. For you, you might find them tougher. That's hard to quantify, etc. But we can see this is a medium stage, and like I'm just absolutely obliterating it. So yeah, I feel like you probably won't have to overly invest into bringing good champions for clearing the waves. Like my Supreme Kale, I mean, he is 6-star to be fair, but you know, he's not absolutely bonkers, but we're absolutely smashing through. Like these poor waves, they really don't stand a chance whatsoever. So the normal wave, the wave content seems very easy. You don't really need to mind too much. That was a normal stage. Let's go to a hard stage. Like I said, there's only 5 of these secret very hard stages. So let's zoom out. You can only zoom out so much. Let's try H15. Let's draw some champs. Cool. It gives you the option to redraw straight away, but I don't know why you would. You kind of want to redraw from here if you just make sure that you can build a team or cannot build a team, as it were. Right, so in Michelangelo, I'm blocking. These are my options. What team would you build? I don't know if we even need any of this stuff, really. I mean, I guess we can let's throw in the Freya just to be safe, and there we go. When you've got strong champions, top-tier champions, well-rounded champions, mythicals are particularly good for this. You should rip through, no problem. But yeah, we'll take a look at the bosses now after this, but this will just give you a sense for how difficult the different waves are. So you can see, like, Marius has just deleted an entire wave by himself. Yeah, so the waves are, from what I can see, not particularly hard. And that is, in a way, it's quite a good thing, to some degree. Maybe they're a little too easy, but it does mean that there's going to be lots of stuff you can do, lots of exploring you can do in the Grim Forest, even if you're struggling for bosses. If you're going like, man, I just don't have great champions for boss, whatever, the vampire chick boss. Unlikely, but if you do, you go, oh man, I can't deal with the burn guy today. That was a hard stage. Stages seem super easy. As you can see, it uses an energy to go through each point, by the way. So look at this. I can go and explore. I can get stuff. Cool. I ranked up my curio from that chest. That's great. Let's see what's down this way in the fog. We got ambushed. So here we go. Ambush. One thing as well that you can do... well, let's just fight through the ambush. Let's fight the mythical champions. The mythical champions are definitely tougher. We'll just go through this. I'll pause it. I'll come back actually after I've beaten this stage. There's nothing much to see, I don't think. Again, just to give you an idea for that ambush stage, how much damage did my team take? Empress took 2,000 damage. Right? Like, yeah. So there you are. Now, we do have... So they're the basic stages, right? Your basic exploring stages seem to be extremely, extremely easy. Now, you will fight in some of these more bigger stages, and again, all of these placements will be randomized. You will fight some basically champions that have been upgraded to bosses. So we'll fight one of those now. But broadly speaking, I guess you might be asking, like, what's the point in having some of these stages which are quite easy? Well, the reason is it's something to do with your energy every day. And as you are going through, you can see I'm already almost up to another level. And when I'm gaining those levels, I'm gaining these cards, which is making me permanently more powerful for when I fight the actual bosses. I'm discovering these altars. I'm discovering treasure chests, which are having rewards in them. And like, as I beat these stages, they have rewards as well, right? Like, I'm getting stuff from beating the stages. So yeah, it means, and again, you've got the green area, which is easy. You've got yellow, which is medium. And that sort of goes all the way around. We can explore all over. So I think there's quite a bit of exploration that you can do, going through the things, trying to find altars, trying to find fights you can fight. If I come over this way and I get stuck, for example, at the mimic boss, or I get stuck at the vampire lady, no problem. Go explore some more. Go in a different direction. Figure out what's happening, right? For example, I got stuck on this boss right here because I fought him and I didn't even read his skills, so I had no idea what he was. Here's the final boss. I found him in the top left. I don't know if he's always there, but I don't have the crowns. You need to go and find 3 of these crowns to unlock him. I don't even know if I want to fight him right now. It probably doesn't make sense anyway. I need to kill the other major bosses to remove them from the fight. We'll talk about that in a sec. And I want to power up more, right? I have, let me see. Oh gosh, don't go in there. To fight, I've got 3 weeks and 3 days to fight this, yeah? So I'm not really in a big rush to take him down. Let's fight this. So this is the next level of stage. Oh, I guess this is actually... Maybe this is not a red difficulty. This might be just a yellow difficulty one. I think the Galathir was red difficulty. I don't know. They both say level 250. She might be red. She's slightly higher level. But one of the slightly harder stages that you can fight are these, where it's going to upgrade a champion to a boss. So they are going to be tougher, and we might want to be a little bit more careful. Let's put in a Krisk. Sure. Let's put in Freya. Keep us alive. Let's put in... Oh, man, I'm getting Lazarius in every single run. That's a little unfair. Sure, what the heck, let's go. You can't really go wrong with Lazarius. He's perfect for this. But let's take a look at this. So this is your... We've seen the basic fights, and you've got ambushes, so they're pretty basic. Super easy from what I can see. Then we've got these stages where a champion gets upgraded to a boss. These can actually be quite a bit harder. So I can tell you, for example, the one I fought, which was really nasty, funny enough, was Frolny, the Mechanist, the Dwarf Mythical. You're probably thinking, he's not that scary, really? But he swaps to his alternate form. Now, Frolny in his alternate form reflects loads of damage back. And he can also heal himself by like half his HP and give himself unkillable. When he's a boss, he's like immune to crowd control. He's immune to loads, and he's got absolutely bucket loads of health. So suddenly an enemy who's reflecting... he's reflecting like half the damage you do to him. When that's a boss reflecting half the damage, it's far scarier than when you fight him in arena. And like, it's a pretty good passive for arena as well, that alternate form passive for Frolny. But it goes particularly crazy when we get to the boss. But when he's a boss, it's kind of nasty. Let's see how this is. Mezamel is a boss. You should be stronger, but not too crazy. You can't lock out bosses. That's another thing. So yeah, Galathir was a little scary as well. One thing I did find with Galathir, though, was that he metamorphed when he shouldn't. The AI for the boss is a bit weird. But yeah, we can see Mezimel is now a boss. So yeah, she's immune to all loads of stuff. Cooldown increases. She's got the awakened weakness passive, which is fun. Enemy max HP is capped, and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, this becomes kind of interesting. Like Riho Bone Spear be kind of annoying as well. Like you can't CC her, you can't lock her out, so she will cleanse her teammates and give them a really big heal because she's got so much max HP. She's a boss, right? So that could be kind of nasty. Here we go. You can see she smacked. This Mezimel's not too scary. She probably had block buffs, so I wasn't paying attention. Couldn't get her herself buffs, I'm guessing, which mitigated her damage a good bit. But yeah, you have these champions have been upgraded to boss stages, and they are certainly more difficult. Let's see, will she metamorph? Presumably she will. But they're definitely I still have found them to be, for the most part, I think I've one-shot all of them, but they're definitely more tricky. I could see people without a crazy roster like me struggling. Yeah? You could definitely struggle a bit on some of these boss stages, mini boss stages. That could happen. Whereas I think that even players with much weaker rosters than mine should really be able to make a pretty good impact into the just the normal waves. Like I really don't see many people struggling there at all. Right. So she's metamorphed, which is cool. We can fight her. Of course, I put in Gallius as my main damage dealer and Freya as a damage dealer. They're the wrong affinity. But hey, there you go. These are the mini boss stages. They're not too bad. So cool. Let's go. Let's check out some actual bosses. Let's do it. All right. So that was that one. Quite a bit of a longer fight, but still not too bad. And yeah, you're getting some of the gear sets from this. You can see the rewards aren't great for this stuff. You're getting some cursed remnants and so on. I guess we should also go. Oh, leveled up. Great. Which one do I want here? I'm going to keep stacking resistance. One thing I don't know, I've no idea what sort of stats these enemies have. I do think if you could stack loads of resistance, which I've kind of been trying to do, I have 160 bonus, maybe we could start resisting some of these bosses. I don't know. Maybe they've got crazy accuracy and resistance requirements. You know, it's hard to tell, but like we can spend our energy coming down here, open up a chest. Great, right? And progressing a little bit further. And just sort of pushing back this darkness. Oh, ambush over there. Cool. Well, let's just keep exploring this way. Get ourselves another chest. Ooh, it's a mimic. Great. Let's fight the mimic. Boss time. So, for the bosses in this game mode, there are 7 new bosses. 2 of them you will fight multiple times. Mimic is the first one. We'll fight him now in a second. But you can see I fought Mimic over there. There's a Mimic up here. This is the other boss you're going to fight lots, which is the Treasure Golem, or Treasure Goblin. Sorry, the Treasure Goblin. You're going to fight him multiple times. And as you can see, they're going to be different affinities. This Mimic up here is Force Affinity and level 325. This Mimic down here is Void Affinity, level 275. If I come back up here, this Treasure Golem is level 300 in Force. This one is level 275 and he's Spirit. So they will be all the different affinities. There'll be different difficulties depending on the region. And these can be pretty tricky in a sense. You'll see in a second. Here's a Mimic that I fought and I've completed. There's another Mimic over here. Again, another Void one that I fought and completed. So yeah, you will be fighting these bosses quite a bit. Now, there is obviously the final boss. He is there once. To get to him, you need to find these 3 crowns, which drop off some of these mythical enemy stages. I haven't found the 3rd one yet, or I've missed it. I don't know. I think I just haven't found it yet. You will also fight, I've done a video on these as well, 4 other big bosses, but you only fight them once. They only show up one time, and they appear to be always level 350, and they're always going to be a fixed affinity. The deal with these bosses, I can tell you right now, Vampire Chick, I went in and I fought her without really knowing what I was doing, and it was super easy. So she seems really easy. I fought this guy without knowing what I was doing. I left it on auto, came back 5 minutes later. The dude was still at full health. He's healing whenever burns go. And Ancora just had not synced up her debuff cleanse with the burns. So yeah, that was pretty bad. So they're going to be different difficulties. When you kill the boss here, it will remove it from the final boss fight. Or in other words, if you don't fight them, like if I don't beat Torres over here, he shows up when I fight the final boss as well, which is pretty bad news. So almost definitely, certainly for the first month, you're going to go in, you want to explore around, you want to find your 3 crowns, but really you want to keep powering up before you fight the final boss. You want to take out these 4 major bosses. I happen to find 2 right beside each other. I haven't found the other 2 yet, and that's going to be my goal for today. after finishing recording is to go and find the other bosses and properly test them and have guides ready to go for you pretty quickly. Let's fight the Mimic. So the Mimic, you're going to fight a lot, and you're going to fight the other guy a lot. So here we go. We come in, we get to draw our champions first of all, and here we go. Now, the best way to beat the Mimic is heal reduction. I didn't know this at the time, so I don't think I have any champions with heal reduction, so we'll just give it our best shot, shall we? Heal reduction. No champions match your criteria. It's a bit of a bummer, but I think because you're going to fight this boss quite a bit, having heal reduction champions in, you'll see why it will make it substantially easier. For this boss, we really want to stack like a heck of a lot of damage. I actually think Androck would be good for some healing and turn meter boosting. That should be good. I think we can decrease speed. We could bring in him for decreased speed. I don't think we need it. We could bring in Krisk, actually, should be pretty good for decreased defense. So bring in a ninja. We want to bring in lots of damage for this boss. I'll show you what I'm thinking about here. These are my options. They're not the best options. Sifi Rotus would be pretty nice. I'll definitely bring in a Rotus, and I guess we'll bring in Gallius as well. One thing that's cool here, and this is something that I did find a bit tricky for this Mimic, is a bit of a DPS race if you don't have continuous heal reduction. Let's just go fight him, right? But one thing that can get you a little bit screwed, you could easily go in, and I could be like, okay, well, I've got Ninja, I've got Rotus, great. If he's Force Affinity, I'm kind of a little bit screwed, so I kind of want to redraw and try to get some damage dealers that are more favorable affinity. That sort of thing can be a little bit awkward. Yeah, sure. We'll just boost up. So this guy, what's he do? What's his whole deal? I've done a whole video on him as well, but basically he's going to summon in a mini Mimic and is going to eat my highest crit damage champion. He will ingest them. That's bad. In case you want to know, it's pretty bad if that happens. Pretty bad. I don't know who my highest crit damage is. I'm guessing Ninja, but I'm not sure. So the mini Mimic will eat them. We'll see it here in a second. Let's actually just start with it A2, start softening him up. Let's go and burn him up. Why the heck not? He's gonna, no, he ate Rotus. Okay, so Rotus was my highest whatever. Now I've got the mini Mimic in there. This mini Mimic does not have a turn meter bar. He will just take a turn whenever the big Mimic does. But yeah, my champion is gone. Now I can kill this to break him free. The other downside is whenever he takes a turn, if there's a mini Mimic present in the fight, it's going to heal the main boss by 25% max HP. Here's the easy way to beat it. Throw heal reduction on the main boss, ignore the mini Mimic, and then it's just a boss who's basically doing a single target stun, or AoE, decreased turn meter, or just an AoE that's hitting a little bit hard for buffs and decrease attack, and that's it. That's all he does, and it's just a 4 versus 1 boss fight. You just ignore this mini thing. So one of the problems is, for every 3 buffs you get, it reduces the cooldown of this. So you'll see, actually, we will start ripping through our buffs. Yeah, I'll give you guys a whole guide on how to beat this thing, but we're just gonna, I think, focus the big guy down and see how we do. You know what I could actually do? I could actually swap Androck over, and let's do that, because I can come in and I can give him a weaken, which will up our damage a little bit, which is cool. But watch this. When I gain some buffs here, it's going to decrease the cooldown of his move. So it's going to get him back to this mini Mimic. And it's actually quite difficult to keep this mini Mimic dead if you're doing it, let's say, the intended way. We can smack him for some enemy max HP damage, which is great, maybe. We might kill this guy off, but you can see I'm not a particularly, well, I'm a somewhat buff-heavy team. I won't say I'm not buff-heavy, but we are getting this Mimic. He's getting the cooldown back far faster than we can break him free. So, yeah, I think the easier way to do it, by far, is to just race him down. Just say, right, forget about it, eh? Right, forget it. We should give ourselves increased speed. Anyway, that's this boss. I think that's probably the easier way to deal with this boss. He's healing a ton, but we're going to be nuking him back. We'll get him down. We can smack him. His mini Mimic will die eventually, though it doesn't even particularly matter, to be honest. There we go. He's dead. We've got Rotus back. Maybe Rotus can get to a turn. But his mini Mimic's back off cooldown. He's going to summon it back again. By killing that mini Mimic off, actually, I suppose it's pretty decent because it's going to mean he can't heal, but yeah, this is what this particular boss fight looks like. And there we go. We took him down. Did we? He's dead? Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Cool. We took him down. Hey, got some fragments for the mythical. Not too bad. But that's the mini mimic. I'll do a whole video on him. He's not terrible. Now, I think this is my general impression of all of the bosses, is that they're actually pretty cool. They're relatively simple. I think that's probably good, but you basically want to build your team to deal with their specific mechanic. It's not that complicated for most of these bosses, and if you do it right, you're good. So, for example, for this guy, he's always going to eat your highest crit damage champion. Now, I could come in and I could be like, whatever. I could throw in, it doesn't matter. I could be like, here, Lady Noelle, wear all of my crit damage gear. You're the highest crit damage champion. You get devoured. Cool. I can basically have anyone be the target for this because of free re-gearing, so it's not so bad. I can put in anybody. Then I want to bring a few damage dealers, nuke him down, and we're good to go. Let's take a look at the other repeat boss. We'll go to, again, a very difficult version of it. I don't know if I've beaten this one yet. Okay, I've just barely beaten him. Okay. Oh, I remember this. This guy is quite nasty, actually. Yeah, this guy's a little rough. So he's Force Affinity, which is a little tricksy. Let's go in on auto, and you can see. So this guy is the other boss you're going to be fighting lots. The Treasure Golem. The key thing about how this guy, he's just dodged our decreased defense weak, and that's cheeky. The key thing about Mr. Treasure Golem, why are you spamming A1s, bro? I don't know. Key thing about him, he's sort of like Chimera. He has a certain number of boss turn counts. If we bring him down to 1 HP, he won't die. We're trying to get as much damage as we can. You can see our damage here is not counting because we're damaging his gold plates. He has 5 gold plates. He has that on a 5-turn cooldown. We're about to break one. There we go. We broke one. Kind of, you couldn't quite see because there was lots of stuff going on. You'll see here. We're going to break one possibly now. No, next hit we should break one. Okay, we broke one there. It's bugging out a little bit because I don't know why. It's bugging out a little bit though. But we did break one. So this boss, you can probably tell by the health bars of my team already. This boss is, funny enough, pretty tricky. He's actually pretty tricky. Boom, look at this. Now, there's his A1. This is what I found with this particular boss. This boss himself, he has some active skill. He has an AoE attack, decrease speed, decrease attack, steals turn meter. His A1 is an AoE, steals some buffs. What I have found is he does not do very much with these active skills. However, what he does do, these gold plates, when you smash them, they do so much damage to you. It's a similar thing with the Mimic. In fact, it's a similar thing I've found with all the bosses. Their damage output just seems to be really low. Yeah, their damage output seems really low. But like this guy, he's a freaking monster. You build up these gold plates. Whenever we smash a gold plate, that's how we do actual damage to him. But it does, as you can see, just a little bit of damage back to us. So yeah, you're going to want lots and lots of healing for this boss from the looks of it. And you don't really need to decrease his attack. We don't really need defensive buffs. But we want, clearly, lots of healing because otherwise we're going to get absolutely shreked. He's going to wreck us. Let's smack it. Like, phew, he's doing 26k damage to everyone every time we break a gold plate. So, like, here, we'll break a gold plate, and, pooh, like, we're getting just demolished, frankly. We're getting just demolished. It's quite brutal. So, yeah, that's this boss. This is the hardest level of him. It's pretty tough. In fact, it's very tough. One thing that is cool... So let's say I haven't beaten this Mimic yet. I've got 13 energy right now. I think he doesn't consume energy to try the boss. So let me see if I just leave the battle. Yeah, look at that. I haven't used up an energy, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's nice. That's nice, actually. If you go try a boss, if you can't beat them, no problem. It hasn't cost you an energy. So I can come in here and say like, oh wow, this red difficulty, these bosses are real tough. Ugh. Like, let me take a look. See here. Maybe let's redraw. Can we get some good healing? That'd be nice. We've got Leonardo. Not great. Actually, very little healing here, though. Mad Hatter, quite good. Let's redraw again. See what we got. Sifi, she's okay. Sir Nicholas does give us some healing on Unkillable. That could be quite good. It's a pity we didn't get him with Lady Noelle. That's fine. I could give this a go today. Now I could say, okay, what if I go on my Unkillable team? I throw in that as well. Um, I don't know. How about Mikage to extend the heals from him? That might be helpful. And yeah, I don't know. Like let's throw in him as well. There we go. That's cool. I could give that a go. If it doesn't work, I can come back the next day with my redraws and try to get a good team for it. But that's definitely something that's going to happen. Like if I say, hey, I start off, I'm going top right. That's it. I'm going top right. I get hard stuck here. You know, don't sit here 13 energy going like, man, I can't get anywhere. No, you go explore some more, level up some more, get more powerful, and it will make a big difference. I think that's what's kind of fun about it. Yeah, watch out. The red areas, they can be pretty tricky. Frigis, he's the hardest boss I fought so far. Again, hilariously, his A1 and A2 don't do anything, but this gold-plated thing is brutal. Oh man, your whole team explodes. So you want basically for the mimic, heal reduction and lots of damage dealers, increase speed, decrease speed. Really, really good. For this guy, he's immune to decrease speed. But quick guide is bring lots of healing. Bring lots of healing, probably bring revivers, because the faster you kill him, the faster you kill your own team, which is kind of scary. I think we'll look at the other bosses probably in another video, because this one is like half an hour long already. But this gives you, I think, a really broad guide to what is going on in the Grim Forest. It's like I go, okay, gosh, that guy's real tough. I'll go explore down this way. Well, let's go this way. Okay, cool. Opening up there. Grand. I don't necessarily want to go this way. Oh, there's a chest up here. Let me go grab this chest. Might get a power up. It's a mimic. I could try fight him. Whatever. Yeah. Let's see what's down this way. We've got a nice red zone over here. Okay. Let's keep exploring. Let's open up this map. We got a chest. Great. I clicked off it. Sorry. Yeah. Just sort of exploring around. Use your energy every day. Don't be scared to go through the easy areas and just get your power ups. And there you are. Like this area right here, you can see one thing as well. This looks like there's not much going on. Maybe there's an ambush. No, there's nothing. I just spent energy for nothing. So save the sort of little dead ends. Like, for example, right here, I've got this path down to a place I've already got to. You know, I'll do it just so you can see. But like, I can open up these paths and I'm not getting anything. There's no point in the little paths. It's just using up a lot of your energy. It's the big chunky rewards that actually matter, right? So for example, this one, nothing. Maybe there's an ambush. If there isn't, there's absolutely nothing there of value. So that's one thing to watch out for. Another couple of quick thoughts. You guys might have spotted, draw some champs, yeah, whatever. One thing that kind of sucks as well. Can I do this without energy, actually? Seems like I can, which is weird. One thing that's awkward is there are no presets, right? Because your team is random, you obviously won't have some sort of pre-built team because you've got no idea which champions are going to be selected. But there also doesn't seem to be an option to do your presets. So if you have certain champions that are a bit complicated or might have a bad AI. So for example, let's say Lady Mikage. Cool. Do I want her to stay in Form 1? Or do I want her to swap over and to start doing crowd control? You have to really manually control that to make it work. One great example I found was I was fighting, I think it was maybe this guy over here. I know, I was fighting one of these, the Phrygius guys. It might have been this one, like with Nice on the team. And Nice has this move, this cool little move here that's double damage to bosses. Great. Nice just doesn't use it. No, he was just spamming his A1. I'm like, Nice, why are you not using your move? So that's a bit of a problem with the game mode, the lack of presets. I find you sort of auto your way through the easier stages, but if you're stuck, yeah. Let's see, can I fight this without energy? It's kind of weird. I don't think I've beaten her already, but it seems to be letting me. I mean, let's give it a go. Sure, let's bring in some buff removal. Let's bring in Predator. Let's bring in this guy. I mean, you should probably do Sifi Rotus. You can't really go wrong. All damage all the time. Okay, not enough to swear energy. Okay, cool. But we can see our teams and you can start redrawing. But yeah, I think that's really everything to cover. Oh, there's also I think I showed you the vendor. You do have a squad reshuffle, so you'll be getting these coins. To buy this, you can buy it 5 times per thing. I'll buy one right now. Replace up to 5 champions within my current squad. Okay, cool. So now I can come in and... Oh. Well, that's very... Oh, that is I'm glad I clicked on this. You can replace 5 champions, but you can see the only champions I can actually That's weird. Why can I replace Ninja? Huh? We used Ninja, did we not? Currently involved in a Grim Forest stage. Very odd. Maybe it's because they've been drawn for stages. Okay, so this is really awkward. So you can, in theory, change up your squad, but it seems very difficult to do. Like, I've used Lazarius lots, obviously, but I can swap him out. But other champions, I guess because they've been drafted into stages, are not available. This actually becomes quite tricky. I guess you could go through and manually change them. I mean, I guess maybe I've beaten every stage I picked Lazarius for, I suppose. That might be it. But yeah, that's a bit of a problem. There is this ability to reshuffle, but it might not be that helpful, but you could switch stuff out. Now, preferably you have a good team right from the start. I'll be doing a whole deck setup video tomorrow, giving some quick tips, but yeah, that's a bit weird. You can do that in theory 5 times per rotation, but it will cost you some of these. You're basically going to miss out on, like, I think the only thing you can spend these Grim coins on are these curios, and they're not that good, but like I could upgrade my pipe. Now I've got a 2-star pipe. Great. Yeah, the curios seem a bit rubbish, so I don't think losing out in the Grim coins is that big of a deal, to be honest. Then you get these Grim gold from quests, battles, and chests, and you can use these to buy vendor chests. So for example, I would save up for this one, giant chest of mercurial gear. Probably the best thing to go for. And yeah, you get those from doing these. So you got those 2 different. You got the square coins and the circle coins. The circle coins are pretty much just for curios, and it all resets every rotation. I wonder if these reset between rotations. Not sure. Yeah, there you are. Quick first look. Well, not quick. Fairly extensive first look at the broad mechanics of it. Hopefully some quick tips and insights into what to expect. What my plans are for the next few days, by the way. So tomorrow, I think that this content will be live in-game on Wednesday or Thursday, probably. So tomorrow on Tuesday, I'm going to be giving you guys a guide on the team decks. So my learnings from it, the champions I picked, who I've ended up using, who I haven't ended up using, and some of the key buffs and debuffs I would be looking for to make things a bit easier. So I think obvious one, for example, heal reduction is going to make the Mimic way easier. Yeah? So yeah, stuff like that. I need to get to the other bosses, so luckily, because it's the test server, I've got like a whole bunch of extra energy. This does not exist in game. This is test server shenanigans. So I will go unlock all the other stages. It takes quite a while, but yeah, I'll unlock them, all the bosses, and give you some quick tips on building your decks. I will cover some champions that are kind of sleepers that are actually super good for this, that you might not be thinking about, but end up being incredibly good. So for example, Mad Hatter's actually been quite useful. So he's spamming out some True Fears for wave content, but he actually does quite a bit of healing with his when you take turns. He heals you up, and he's extending your buffs, the ally attack. He's quite a nifty little guy, actually, even for bosses. So he's like a fusion from this year who's good for waves. That's not too important, but he's good for pretty much all the bosses as well. He's just a very handy champion to have. So I'll cover certain champions like that might be worth considering. Yeah, so I'll do that maybe on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. So like, yeah, building your decks, some interesting champions that might have a bit of a power surge. I will do some guides on the individual bosses as well. And yeah, let me know what else we should do. Like, to be honest, the quests are just going to happen. And like, they're all sort of early guides as well. Like, we will get a lot more info as we see more and more testing of this stuff. But yeah, I'll be continuing on through. We'll get to the final boss and all the rest. But this was just a first quick look at what you can sort of expect. I do think, by the way, for like the first, if I zip through like my first day of stuff, like I was absolutely zooming through. We're just killing everything very easy. Oh, you could see that Phrygius, guys, I'll tell you, this guy, Phrygius, though, it's just a nice against the world, bro. He's nasty. But yeah, going through, picking cards. Yeah, Phrygius ain't easy. But like my first day, we were really ripping through. We could see this one. It was taking a good while as well, that Mimic. You can see here, I did not have enough damage, and like Supreme Kale just sucks against this, for instance. So like we tried this boss, and I was like, yeah, we're not hurting him. Can't kill this Mimic. He's healing too much. So like, they're the things to watch out for. Right, look, you guys get the gist. You'll be good for your first few days anyway. I think the key thing to get right at the start is to build a good deck because apparently it's a massive pain in the butt to actually change it. It doesn't really work. Right. That's it. First impressions. Give me your thoughts. I will also tell you, final thought, I've had a heck of a lot of fun doing this. It's really cool. The map feels absolutely massive. There is so much to do. Holy crap. There's tons to do, tons of rewards, loads of new bosses. Yeah, I do feel I do my main concern is some of the balancing feels a bit weird that many of the stages feel crazy easy and then you've got like the treasure goblin guy is just your whole team dies. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's sort of it. Oh, there's also I've been blocking it pretty much this whole time, but there is like a treasure hunt chest. I think you get these charms. I'm not even sure. I think for completing major objectives or something. I don't know. Or maybe just they're rewards for some areas of the map. I'm not entirely sure. I've gotten 9. I haven't even noticed where because I've been sort of just speeding through this sort of stuff. But yeah, you will get charms from, I don't know, doing something. And that will give you like a big chest at the end, which is going to have a bunch of rewards in it. So it's going to have like avatar frames. It will have souls for the champion. You might need to have the champion. I don't know. Actually, I don't think you need to have the champion first. But I think much like Cursed City, they will go in order. There's an avatar, rewards in here. You know what it might be? It might be you get champion fragments until you get the champion. And then when you have the champion, then you can start getting the souls for them as well. That's probably what it is. Right, sorry. I keep adding more info on. I need to stop. First look at Grim Forest. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. We'll do plenty of Grim Forest stuff. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.